It's 2 a.m. with Nathan. James 1:12. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. I heard a story about a mother named Edith. She was a mother of 8, and one day she returned home from visiting the neighbors, and she realized it was quiet in the house. And so she got a little concerned, went to the backyard, looked through the screen door, and she saw her 5 youngest children gathered around in the grass looking at something. So she looked a little closer and realized to her horror, it was 5 baby skunks. And so she yelled out, "Children, run!" And each of those kids scooped up one of the skunks and ran. I'm sure to Edith in that moment, it must have felt overwhelming. And yet, I bet you years later, she could sit back and laugh about it and realize that was just a test. It was just a test to see how she would react. It was just a test to see would she blow up or get angry or get frustrated. It was just a test. How many of the problems that we face seem huge, tremendous, bigger than anything else? And yet we know that they're just a test. God is still in control. He wants us to succeed. It's not nearly as bad as it looks. It's just a test. It reminds me of the poem by Douglas Malloch. The hills ahead look steep and high, and often we behold them with a sigh. But as we near them, level grows the road. We find on every slope, with every load. The hills they climb is not too steep, the top so far. The hills ahead look harder than they are. I don't know what big hills face you today. The ones that loom over top of you, and you think no one else knows, and you think, I'll never get over them. But I know the God who can lift you up on eagle's wings. I know the God that says if you belong to him, this is just a test. It's just meant for you to succeed by moving through with joy. It's not just a test, it's one that he wants you to succeed in. He will give you the strength to make it through. He wants to be victorious through you in this moment. The question is, how are we going to react? It's worth enduring this test, this trial that's ahead of us, because there's a lot better reward than a little plastic crown. This is obviously my daughter's crown, not mine, okay? But there's the crown of life. Not the crown of plastic, but the crown of life that awaits for those of us who endure the trial and realize this is just a test. God is in charge. We can rejoice because we know. I wonder how today would be different if when we face those tests, those trials, we realize it's just a test. We fell flat on our face, we got up, maybe try it again because it's just a test. Whenever we think we have no strength to go on, we say, oh, I can give a little more shot because it's just a test. Maybe instead of crying, we can laugh because it's just a test and we know who's in charge and we know that he wants us to be able to succeed and he wants to give us the crown of life at the end. Oh, it's good to be serving the King of Kings. As you face your trials, remember 2 things. 1, if your kids are around skunks, don't tell them to run. They might pick it up and run. and 2, it's just a test. Hang on and look to God. Have a great day.